Welcome back to the Steve Gruber Show. Look, I have talked about this for years. We need more real men in America. We need more fathers to stand up and, well, be fathers. And my next guest has taken a new angle on this, and an important one, I must say. Garrett J White, founder of Wake Up Warrior. It's a program for married businessmen to live the warrior way toward having a life of having it all. And what does he mean by that? Well, let's bring him in and find out. Garrett, nice to see you again.
Great to see you, Steve. Love getting to spend time with you in Vegas and excited to be on the show.
Yeah, we've got to know each other a little bit. We've talked quite a bit. And when you talk about a man's life, a businessman, and how he balances his career path, his family, his kids, you usually find that he's short in one of those areas. Tell me what the Wake Up Warrior program is all about. Let's share it with the folks.
So for the past 13 years, we have been solving the trifecta of insanity, which is exactly what you listed out. The idea that a guy could be married, he could have children, and run a business successfully at the same time. For most men, they fail at the last two with the wife and children when it comes to the business, and in fact, end up affecting the business in a negative way. So we started 13 years ago. We've had over 70,000 men go through our programs and have guided them through a specific operating system, a way of thinking and things of doing every single day that line up logically for men who face this type of challenge.
And this is a biblical principle. This is a Christian effort, isn't it?
Yes, it didn't start that way, but like all things, we started this movement almost 13 years ago, and several of the 26 other men's movements behind us now, all coming together in the Man Arena Tour here on May 17th, unifying under one common message, which is the freedom of men. Ultimately, the ability for a man to exercise ultimate use of his dominion. For most men, particularly Christian men and men who have come to God, I came to Christ 2.5 years ago. It wasn't expected. God got a hold of me a way that he does with every man who eventually listens. And once we saw it, everything we've been doing for over a decade was not only biblical, we were following the path of God without even knowing we were following the path of God. So it's been exciting as we've come together with these, because everything we've seen now, from biblical truth to what is being taught inside of the warrior system and the operating system for these men, lines up like a glove on a hand.
I think you're exactly right, by the way. I think that was true in my life. You're speeding down this highway of life, and God puts up road signs. Hey, exit here. Hey, slow down. Hey, here's a new opportunity for you. And you just head down. You're just roaring down the road. You're ignoring the signs. You're not slowing down. You're not taking the exit ramp. And next thing you know, you run into some trouble. So tell me about your own personal journey. Wife, kids, business, chaos.
Chaos. So I was a banker for the first 9 years of my entrepreneurial journey, real estate investor in life insurance and in mortgages. And I built and didn't listen to anyone except for people who taught me how to make money. I refused to be poor. And so I built and built and built, forgot I was a husband, forgot I was a father, forgot I was a man of anything outside of making money. Well, the messages started coming in 2006 into 2007, and I didn't know it was God speaking to me at the time, but there were prompts that I needed to pivot, I needed to move, I didn't listen. The principle that every knee will bow and every tongue will confess is a truth that all men must confront, and they will one way or another, either by design, choosing to take a knee, or they will be compelled. And that compulsion is where the pain comes. So I found myself face down, lost all the money I had, lost the companies, lost everything I had created. And an affair, drug addiction, problems, and face down in that pit is where God reached into my world and woke me up with a simple question: have you had enough? So the challenge that we faced with myself and many others is I've rebuilt the empire much bigger than it was before. And on top of that, brought my entire family, my marriage, my kids, all 5 of them, and my relationship with God and my physical body all to the front line. Ultimately living what I believe is God's original intent and purpose for all of us, which is to live and operate and create in abundance. But for most men, they lie. Yeah. They lie about everything.
In effect, Garrett, you tapped out. You had been, you face down in the pit is the way you put it. Yes. I liken it to, to tapping out. You can't breathe, you can't think, you can't move. You've been beaten, you've lost. And then you realize you haven't really lost. It's just the beginning, right?
100%. Right. And at the base of this place, what every man gets confronted with is truth. Like, we are at cause as men for our entire lives. God gave man dominion, and with that, the opportunity to create. But just like Adam, when we lie, when we make decisions that move us off that path, we do exactly what Adam did. We hide ourselves in the bush, ashamed, embarrassed, filled with guilt and shame, and by default, mentored by Adam, we blame our wives. And in this place, we have no power. Your sex life and marriage, your relationship with your children, your business, your body, your relationship with God, you are at cause for all of it. But we live in a time where we've lied so much as men, and men now are being so beaten down on by toxic masculinity conversations, a sanitization through the church, that men have forgotten how to be men and have now lived generations of men being weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. And that weakness has to come back to a foundation of truth, because where truth is, God is, and where God is, transformation of that man's life is possible.
And if he transforms his life, he transforms his marriage, his relationship with his children, his business might flourish, or maybe he starts a new business. Let me ask you about this man in the arena. 7,000 people you're expecting. Salt Lake City, what was the date again?
May 17th, 2025. Maverick Center Arena in Salt Lake City, Utah is our first stop on the tour. Last time a tour was done like this for men was in the 1990s for the Promise Keepers. Yeah. And if you were to compare these two, Promise Keepers was very much a New Testament theme. The Man in the Arena tour is a return back to the Old Testament savage ways of being, because men have become so soft and so weak in how they operate that God can't get his purposes accomplished in a way that must happen in darkness with light, because men are too terrified, too alone, and lost. So the Arena tour is an opportunity for men. Men say, why would I come to this event? Why would I participate? It's simple. There is a permission slip that can be found when you are in a place with thousands of men who are unified, wearing all black, Man in the Arena t-shirts, focused on one thing: accessing power. Power is a function of permission. When I have permission, I have power. When I have power, I have permission. The permission most men are looking for, they're trying to find it in their wives, they're trying to find it in their kids, they're trying to find it in a president, they're trying to find it in their pastor, they're trying to find it everywhere but the one place God placed that power, which is inside of a man where the kingdom resides. Being in this place and choosing this space is what the Man in the Arena tour is about. It's our opportunity to give men a chance to unify around other men. No women in the arena, no wives, no daughters, just men. And when you put an event like this together, we've been doing this for over 13 years, there is a permission that opens up in this man that has him no longer tolerate some of the weak behavior and tolerate the results that he does not want in life that he's been tolerating for many men for decades.
Yeah.
This shit in that arena gives him a new trajectory and a new opportunity to see a possibility that has always been possible. God's been calling him toward it, but he's been too weak in his commitment to go. Men come to these places with us and have for the past 13 years. We've watched $100 million businesses get built. Men lose 100 pounds in weight. Men restore their marriages, save their marriages from divorce, light their marriages sexually, intimately, and passionately on fire. We've watched them become the spiritual leaders of their
real men. It's time to stand up, and I want to get this in. WakeUpWarrior.com. I'm going to be there with you, Garrett, on May the 17th. So if you want to join me, I'll be in the audience. Garrett will be up there with a whole host of great speakers. It's the Man in the Arena tour. Rebuilding men, business, marriage, children, all of it. WakeUpWarrior.com. You can find out more right now. We've got about 20 seconds, Garrett. I'll give you the last word.
Listen. You can get tickets at maninathearenatour.com. Go check it out. Watch the content, see what's on there. If God's calling you into the arena with us, well, you know where to be, and you know where I'll be, and you know where 7,000 other men will be, and you know where Steve will be. We're inviting you to be there with us.
Join us, maninathearenatour.com, maninathearenatour.com. Garrett White, thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
We'll take a break and be right back. It is The Steve Gruber Show.